Yo, what's going on YouTube? So today I kind of want to give my thoughts about the whole Bo7 Call of Duty situation and the state of, Call of Duty as a whole right now. But first, before we get started, do me a favor, hit the like, hit the sub, hit the notification bell so that way you don't miss any of the lives. With that being said, I guess let's get into it. Obviously, Call of Duty has some issues and we all feel that nobody really cares about that. And just the overall state of the franchise in general. And let's make that clear. All of your dislikes and all the problems that you have with the game and with Call of Duty in general are perfectly valid, But what do you really expect? This game isn't going to reinvent the wheel. They're not trying to do that. It isn't going to push the boundaries of what the multiplayer experience could and should be, right? For me, as long as they make a sound and polished game, I think that's all you could ask for. You want more creativity, you'd like them to reinvent the multiplayer experience, then personally, I think a lot of it should start with map design and the overall feel of the game and the environment. Get creative visually. Bigger maps for certain modes, better unlocking system, make leveling up rewarding. I think that's a good start, and for the most part, that's all a lot of people would want. But I need to be very clear. I am not a multiplayer kind of guy. I am a Warzone and a Resurgence type of player now. With that being said, I did play the beta. I did try it out today and I played it for maybe like an hour, right? As soon as I jumped in, I noticed that the feel of the game, the movement, just the overall just vibe of the game, right? It felt a lot better. It felt cleaner. It felt faster. It didn't feel sluggish like Bo6 did when it first dropped. I wasn't a big fan of the Omni movement when it first dropped because it wasn't very good. It wasn't clunky. It wasn't refined. It wasn't polished. This game, that's the positive, right? To the multiplayer in Bo7 right now, it feels fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't think there's any issues with it at all that I could tell. Now, with that being said, I am just a casual player. I don't play this thing competitively and I will never play it competitively. And multiplayer is just not my thing. I don't get off of work wanting to play multiplayer, grind it out and do camos and do all that. Like I said, I'm a Warzone player and I'm a Resurgence player. So multiplayer for me just doesn't really hold my interest, but I will say it does feel better. I expected it to be a little bit more crazier than it was. It's really toned down with the wall jumping and the wall bouncing or whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. It seemed toned down from what the initial, previews were, right? I thought people were going to be flying everywhere over the map. That's just not the case. The wall jumping feels smooth. It feels coherent. It does feel, like I said, I'm going to keep using this word, polished. It just feels nice. Everything in the game feels nice. The guns are okay. Perk system, I think it's more refined, more dumbed down in a way. It's really simple. Everything seems really simple to get a hold of. It's not going to take too much to just jump in the game, start playing and choosing your perks and whatnot. There are a lot of changes that they made. No more wild cards and stuff like that, which is cool. Just they're not reinventing anything here. They are baselining everything that worked from the previous games, whether it's 2019 Modern Warfare and the other games that people were kind of happy with, right? It's just a baseline. They kind of just dumbed everything down, in my opinion. Now, I'm not very analytical with it. I do not know the ins and outs of the game itself and what they did and why they did this. I do not know any of that. All I can tell you is from what I've seen and what I play as a casual player. So with that, my personal opinion is, hey, it's a multiplayer. We're not expecting a whole lot. It's just a multiplayer. And every Call of Duty game, it's just a multiplayer from every single release that they have made. And you're paying $70 for just a multiplayer. The difference is with Black Ops, you're getting zombies. The zombies looks great. There's nothing you can say negative about it. It looks fucking dope. I'm really excited about zombies. I will play that. A lot of people that I know are fans of zombies, right? So it's just zombies. You're not going to go wrong with anything zombies, okay? You're not. That being said, it's still just a multiplayer. You're paying for, Call of Duty. You're paying for the experience, the multiplayer experience, but that's pretty much it. It's basically like Madden. What are we expecting nowadays? They'll add in a few different features or new things to do in a different way or whatever it is, right? Sometimes they don't work. Most times they're broken, but it's the same game every single year. Same thing with 2K. These games are just going to be repetitive every single year. And if you're just genuinely a fan, you're gonna buy it. You're gonna enjoy it. And that's where it sets it apart for me. I'm just not a multiplayer guy. I'm not going to purchase these games every year that they come out. I'm not excited about a multiplayer game, whether it's new maps or anything like that, or a new mode. I'm just not really excited about that. That doesn't really hold my attention. But like I said, it is not a bad multiplayer game. It feels good. It looks fine. It looks, I wouldn't say great, but it looks decent. So at the end of the day, you're just going to choose whether or not you're going to spend the $70 to pre-order it or buy it, or get the Vaulted Edition for, $100 and get those little extra, skins and whatever, right? It's really up to you. But I do recommend, if you have Game Pass, you don't need to get the Ultimate Game Pass. You can just get the standard PC Game Pass, and you're going to be able to get this game day one. You're going to be able to play the beta, which that's how I'm playing it right now. I'm not going to spend $70. If you can avoid spending the $70, if you really, really desperately want to play that game, I'd recommend you get the Xbox Game Pass for PC. Now, I would like to move on to something else. The roadmap for Season 1 for Black Ops 7 for Warzone, it's very, very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. I didn't see a point in anybody going to the COD Next event, because all it was multiplayer, zombies, a new Resurgence map, and an announcement for Blackout 2 and Avalon, right? They didn't get to play it. They didn't get to drop in and kind of roam the map, play it, or anything like that. No experience at all. Nothing hands-on. They couldn't go in there and kind of look at everything. I didn't understand the point. I think it was a big swing and a miss. Just my opinion on that. Now, let's look at the roadmap. Let's take a look at it, see what you guys think. Like I said, it's very underwhelming. So we're going to take a look at it right now. All right, so this is the roadmap for Warzone and Season 1, Black Ops 7, or just Warzone in general, right? Because Black Ops 7 is going to have its own thing. It's released. Multiplayer, that's what you're going to have. They're going to come out with their season for that, and, their battle pass. So it is what it is. But I think most people and most creators were kind of wondering what's going to happen with Warzone, because apparently, Avalon has been ready for quite a while, right? It's been ready for a minute. There were talks about Blackout 2. Now, is Warzone going to be put on the back burner? Nobody's going to really care about that. They're just going to let that be and go on and pretty much just die and stay stale and just not really pay attention to it. This kind of proves that might be the case. I don't really know. Nobody really knows. We're just going to have to wait and see. But right here, the Havens Hollow map, it is a Resurgence map. Liberty Falls, but like an extended, it has Liberty Falls POIs, but extended, right? It looks fine. There's nothing wrong with the map. For me, the layout was a little, it could have been better. I kind of personally thought when I first saw it, Mansion should have been like the center POI, the biggest POI in the map. It should be in the center of the map because it is the biggest one. And I think that's going to bring a lot more attention. Mansion's going to bring a lot more attention. A lot more players are going to drop in there, hot drop that thing, put that thing in the map and build everything around it. Now, the colors look great. It looks like a fantastic game, but I have to be honest. It's probably a map that's going to get stale and boring after maybe a month or two. Okay, nobody's going to really be playing that map. Everybody's still going to be playing Resurgence or Rebirth. Okay, and now we can look right here. There's 2 new POIs that are going to come to Verdansk, right? Nothing major, nothing big. Signal Station, Factory, remastered. It's just, that's the initial first, update. I guess, with Black Ops 7 coming out, this is what's going to happen right off the rip, right out the gate. And your modes are going to be Battle Royale, Resurgence, Plunder, Casuals, and Ranked. And obviously in 2026, well, actually 2026 Ranked is going to be, added, and then Blackout. So that's pretty much it. It's going to be dropped most likely right away when Bo7 comes out and drops. This is going to be added. Okay. Now, for any major changes or any major updates at all, we're not going to see anything until 2026 in the spring. They announced Avalon as a big map, but they announced it in a way where it's Blackout 2. And that's it. It seems as though that Avalon is going to be its own game mode with Blackout, and that's it. Avalon's not going to be in a war zone. It's not going to be a war zone map. It's not going to be anything like that. It's not going to be a BR. It's going to be what that mode is. I'm not familiar with Blackout. I've never played it. I was more of a multiplayer guy when that was out back then, but now obviously I'm a Warzone player now. So it really kind of, I don't know what they're trying to do here. Give people options, or just kind of make it to where, I mean, that's all I can think of is just giving people options, right? You have a Blackout map, you have Rebirth, you have Haven's Hollow, and you have Verdansk. If you want to play Warzone, you can jump over there. If you want to play the Blackout style, you know, Avalon thing, then you can go over to Avalon or go to Blackout and play that. But this isn't coming until 2026, okay? You have a Rebirth Island refresh. You have Haven's Hollow. I mean, that's already going to be out, right? It's going to be out before then. And you have a Verdansk update. So it's going to be I'm assuming, hopefully a big update, and we'll see what they do. But as far as the roadmap for the foreseeable future, Warzone, I think it didn't land, and it fell flat on its face. I don't know what else to say. Now, look, I'm a casual player. I don't play this thing competitively. I enjoy streaming it, and I enjoy, you know, running it with the homies and just getting in there and playing a few games and calling it a night, right? That's pretty much it. I'm not asking for a lot from Warzone, but at the same time, man, you got a Bo7, a new game coming out, right? And you have all these people who have constantly expressed their, you know, dissatisfaction with Call of Duty in general. And you think that they would stack something together, put something together, right? That's going to be more impressive than this. This is not impressive at all. I couldn't care less about Avalon or Blackout 2. Not because I don't like Blackout. I've never played it. I don't know. And a lot of people are going to be in the same boat where they didn't play Blackout. There are going to be quite a few people who have, but for the rest of us who just got back into Call of Duty, specifically for Warzone, nobody's going to know what to think of this, right? I don't know what to think of it. Now, looking at like Verdansk is staying, okay? Verdansk is going to stay. I'm just kind of hoping that with this update and these new POIs, it's going to refresh it. And there's nothing wrong with adding new POIs in Verdansk. I think they should just build on that and continue to build on that. But at the same time, like I said, this is not impressive at all. It's not very impressive. And I'm not trying to be one of those content creators because I'm not like them. I'm not a big streamer. I'm not a content creator where, you know, every little thing that they do, it's just a disappointment, right? I'm not, you know, involved that much with this game, but I do play it and I enjoy playing it and going live and streaming it, and so far, right? And it's just something to do, something to pass the time. Now, maybe that's on me. Maybe I need to mix in some other games to play because Call of Duty is just going to be Call of Duty, and there's really nothing else that you can do. I don't know what anybody expects from Call of Duty. I really don't. I don't know if they expect them to, like I said, reinvent the wheel, or, you know, just do something to shake up the entire, you know, way of playing a Call of Duty game or Warzone in general. I don't know what people expect. If you put out some dope updates, you give us a battle pass that's fucking worth it, new POIs, build on Verdansk, give us some fucking dope events, man. I think people would just be happy. Now, I know a lot of people are not happy with, you know, what they've been doing as far as, you know, their collaborations with like Beavis and Butthead and American Dad and all these things, right? I get that. It's not Fortnite, you know, and some of these things look kind of funky, but some of them look kind of dope, right? Now, if you kind of just stay in your lane and the operators that we are used to seeing, dude, come up with something creative for those guys and for the normal standard operators that we have had over the course of, you know, a decade. But, you know, they need to do something that's going to just, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Satisfy just the casual players and the content creators alike. Just drop some cool, dope shit. This right here is not impressive at all. So understandably, people are upset, and I get that. And that's fine. You know, it is what it is at this point. Call of Duty isn't going to change their ways. Nothing's going to get done. As far as like the anti-cheat, they didn't really mention any of that at all. I don't think they mentioned anything at all about that. So we don't even know what's being worked on behind the scenes as far as that, right? But all I can say for now is, I mean, I don't know really what to expect anymore. I don't. I'm going to continue to play the game just because it's something to do. And I'm not a content creator, man. I'm not looking for these games to be able to put out content. I just play the game and I enjoy streaming. And if I upload YouTube videos, then I'll upload YouTube videos about it. It doesn't really matter to me. So, I mean, everybody's really going to have their own opinion about it and where they expect this game to go. But for now, yo, this is unimpressive. This is not impressive at all. And I really understand why people are upset. We're not getting anything until 2026, which by that time, I don't know. Is GTA going to be out? This game could be long and forgotten. Nobody's probably going to care about Avalon by the time it comes, right? There could be other things going on. Battlefield could just eviscerate COD, right? Battlefield could just take it over. GTA's coming. I think that this was a swing and a miss, honestly. They could have done something big, a cool event. We still have Halloween coming, so I'm sure they're going to be doing something. But yeah, that's just kind of my thoughts on the whole situation and what the game is. Like I said, the multiplayer isn't bad. Bo7 isn't bad. It's a multiplayer, man. What are we expecting from it at this point, right? The only thing that bugs me is the Warzone. The Warzone roadmap. It's nothing to write home about, and it's nothing to glaze. Honestly, it's not. So hopefully by 2026 in the spring, the Rebirth Island refresh is something positive, and the Verdansk update is something positive. But we don't even know if it's going to make it until then, right? Like I said, Battlefield is on the horizon. GTA is coming. This whole Warzone and these updates and the roadmap could be long forgotten. So that's it for me, man. You know, if you guys have any other opinions or something that you feel that I didn't kind of, you know, say, or if there's anything that you want to say, comment down below, give it a like, don't forget the sub, and join the lives whenever you see it pop up. I'd really appreciate it. And, you know, this is just, I don't know. It's disappointing, and I don't think that Bo7 was never meant to save Call of Duty or Warzone in general. It's just meant to be what it usually is, right? And it's just a multiplayer. So if you like zombies, cool. Zombies is dope. Zombies is always going to be dope. It's always going to be there. So you do what you will with zombies. Multiplayer is not for me. Do not buy this game. Do not pre-order it. Do not spend the $70 on it. Get Game Pass for $15 or $16, whatever it is now. I have Game Pass for the PC, so I get it for free, and I don't get it for free, but I get it for, you know, I get day one release and I get the beta. So yeah, until next time, I mean, you guys just, you know, stay classy. You guys, you know, I appreciate you guys if you guys are in here, and whoever sees this video. I appreciate you, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.